We've done a few Harry Potter lists at this point, and we know there are hundreds of behind-the-scenes videos out there. That's why we took extra care when putting together this list. The Harry Potter films have found a special place in cinema history, and we'd like to do them justice. Real-life magic was necessary to bring the wizarding world to life, and it wasn't easy to limit ourselves to just 25 items. Whether you're a hardcore Potterhead or just a casual fan, there's something special for everyone in this video. I'm Michael.
No, okay, thank you.
And here are 25 Wizarding World facts to hype up the Harry Potter movies. Producer David Heyman heard about Harry Potter from his secretary, Nisha. He held a quick Monday morning meeting to ask if anyone had read anything interesting over the weekend, and Nisha handed over the Philosopher's Stone. Heyman read the whole book in one night and knew instantly that he had to produce it. Thanks, Nisha. Warner Brothers Studios' Leavesden is where all 8 movies had their base of operations, and nobody was too thrilled about that. Producer David Barron went so far as saying the area was broken down and depressing. After just 1 year, however, it became clear that this was the Wizarding World family home. The entire facility lasted all 10 years and included real classrooms, editing bays, dressing rooms, and even a baseball field. Steve Kloves penned most of the script for Sorcerer's Stone. However, J.K. Rowling herself wrote the flashback scene involving the murder of Harry's parents. This makes sense, considering that Rowling knew exactly what happened on that dark Halloween night. And as a side note, yes, Philosopher's Stone is the original title, but Sorcerer's Stone is how the majority of us Americans were introduced to Harry Potter. So, put down your wands. We want to give a quick shout out to Stuart Craig, who designed every set that you see in the Harry Potter films. From the Great Hall to Diagon Alley, Stuart is responsible for literally crafting the Wizarding World. To quote Mike Newell, "In the beginning, there was none, and the world was void and without form. And then along came Stuart Craig." However, he's not the only behind-the-scenes presence within Hogwarts walls. A lot of the portraits you see throughout the castle actually show members of the crew, dressed in different costumes and placed in different scenarios. They've literally been immortalized inside the world they worked so hard to create. It's no secret the number 7 is significant in the Potter universe, but there's more to it than Horcruxes, Quidditch players, and the number of Hogwarts school years. 7 owls were actually used in total for the role of Hedwig. Their names were Gizmo, Casper, my favorite, Oops, Swoops, Uh-oh, Elmo, and Bandit. Was this on purpose? Probably not. Is it magical? Oh yes. Despite eventually developing a very strong sibling bond with her, both Rupert Grint and Daniel Radcliffe had a huge crush on Emma Watson when they first met. If you're wondering which of them she would have chosen, neither. Watson actually had eyes for Tom Felton. Tom Felton initially auditioned for the roles of Harry and Ron. It'd be weird seeing him play 2 characters at once, but it's been done. In the early stages of casting, Chris Columbus, director of Hogwarts Years 1 and 2, asked each potential actor what their favorite scene in Philosopher's Stone was. Felton, who hadn't actually read the book, wanted to impress Columbus and gave the same answer as the kid before him. Columbus saw straight through the lie, but knew that he'd found Draco Malfoy. Richard Griffiths, who played Vernon Dursley, suggested to J.K. that it might be funny if Hogwarts had a Parents' Day, with the Dursleys showing up and getting into all sorts of misfortune. Rowling's response was a simple, no. And according to Griffiths, that was the end of that. In hindsight, Chamber of Secrets is considered to be the most stressful film to work on. The release date was scheduled exactly 1 year after Sorcerer's Stone. Production began literally the day after the premiere, with limited time for shooting and even less time for editing. But while Chamber of Secrets was stressful as a whole, one of the most difficult scenes for Daniel Radcliffe actually took place in Goblet of Fire, the Yule Ball. You might be thinking it was due to having to learn how to dance, but it was actually learning how to dance badly. Radcliffe is a very experienced dancer and considers it to be one of his strongest talents. Mike Newell, director of Goblet of Fire, tried demonstrating to James and Oliver Phelps how the Weasley twins should fight after their aging potion messes up. He broke a rib in the process. James and Oliver Phelps, who played Fred and George Weasley, skipped their final exams to attend the audition for the twins, even though neither of them had any acting experience. When asked by interviewers whether or not they were actually twins, They replied that they'd met at the audition. It was really scary how similarly they looked. Speaking of the twins, there's a popular story about how, during the filming of Fred's death, spoilers, Oliver couldn't make it through the scene without breaking down and sobbing. It's said that he grabbed his brother after the take, cried into his arms, and couldn't stop telling James how much he loved him. Very sweet, very touching, and very fake. The truth is that James actually fell asleep, and also missed lunch. The Silver Doe scene in Deathly Hallows was actually just a dog wearing LED lights, before post-production turned it into Snape's famous Patronus. The amount of practical effects in these movies would actually shock you. There are way too many to name them all, but some great ones include the door to the Chamber of Secrets, blowing up Aunt Marge, the moving staircases, and even the killer chessboard. Perhaps one of the most impressive is the basilisk in the Chamber of Secrets. Yeah, a life-size animatronic was actually used for several shots and polished up in post. The props department felt that having a real monstrous snake attack Daniel Radcliffe would provide a better overall performance. The Hall of Prophecies in the Order of the Phoenix was the first entirely digital set in the franchise's history. The area was too big to recreate practically, and would be a nightmare to repair if things went wrong. Imagine trying to do this in real life. You may be wondering why some of your favorite moments from the books got cut, and there's actually an answer. Around the time of Prisoner of Azkaban, when the books were becoming too long for one movie, director Alfonso Cuarón developed a formula. The movies would be shown through Harry's eyes only. If a scene didn't strongly affect Harry, then it would end up on the cutting room floor. Staying on the topic of change, in the books, Voldemort's eyes are a disturbing red color, but in the films, they remain blue. This was done to leave a hint of humanity within Voldemort's terrifying appearance. Seeing real human expressions underneath all the horror is what makes the Dark Lord that much scarier. Nicholas Hooper, composer for the Order of the Phoenix, knew ahead of time just how important Umbridge was, and wanted to make her theme as annoying and irritating as possible. He wanted it to be fun enough where it would always get stuck in your head, but always leave you wanting it out. Hedwig's theme was the first piece ever written for the franchise, and it was done before John Williams had even seen the first film. The producers requested a score to accompany the film's teaser, and Williams delivered Hedwig's theme. When David Heyman first heard it, he claims it was so clear that it was it. This was the main theme for Philosopher's Stone, and today, the main theme of the franchise. Just another accomplishment in the amazing life of John Williams. That being said, Williams actually considers one of his crowning achievements to be getting people to appreciate and learn music because of his work on Harry Potter. But music isn't the only important sound in film. Foley artists come up with ridiculously creative tricks to produce sound effects throughout the 8 movies. The sound effect for the flying brooms was actually created by rubbing hands up and down a pile of kitty litter. Other sounds for things like spells and apparating came from combining and distorting the noises of different angry animals. The look of a standard spell was based on the movements of a jellyfish. Finally, unlike the actors in the original franchise, the cast of the Fantastic Beasts movies actually played a big part in designing their own wands. We'll fix this in post. This made Eddie Redmayne, who plays Newt, slightly uncomfortable, as he believed it to be too much pressure. He's confessed he would have rather had the wand choose him like it was meant to. A true Potterhead, if we ever saw one. So, which fact did you find the most interesting? What was your favorite moment in the Wizarding series? Have you seen the latest film? Let us know in the comments below, or tweet your answer to us at
Okay, thank you.
You'll fix this in post, right?
Sure.
Excellent. We don't want to look stupid.
Practice mode.
Oh.